Hi, Kimono. First. You are indeed. Could you let me know how the audio is? Can you hear me? Can you hear the game? Hope you're doing well. Can hear me and the game. Perfect. If anything needs to be adjusted, let me know. Otherwise, we're just gonna get back to it. Oh my gosh. Seems fine? Alright, thank you. How are you doing? Doing good, just thinking about organization stuff. Ooh, organizing is hard. I wish you the best of luck. It was a very humid day. Not even a slight breeze was blowing. It had been an unpleasant summer, one that wasn't only hot, but swelteringly so. There were various articles of clothing hung out to dry in the messy apartment windows, but the lack of wind evoked an impression far removed from coolness. In fact, it only felt more oppressive. You're also getting the Pokemon? Nice! Show it to me when it's done. I want to see. There were crooked houses and apartments lining the narrow, twisting road. In addition, there were planters and flower pots whose contents were beginning to rot, as well as bicycles and cars on the sides of the road, making it even more cramped, more oppressive, and all the more sweltering. Nobody who was in this place at the time was visiting it voluntarily. But in spite of what everyone might expect, a single motorcycle came rolling in. The motorcycle stopped in front of a two-story apartment, one that could hardly be called neat even as flattery. A man, fairly old and wrinkled, stepped off. When a nearby neighbor hanging out the laundry noticed him, she called out, "Well, hello there. It's quite hot today again, isn't it?" "Whew, you've got that right. I feel like I'm gonna boil out here." Suddenly, I got goosebumps all over my body. I felt like something bad was about to happen for no reason. Everyone gets this feeling in a different way. Some people get a twitch in their eyelids or some kind of movement in their ears. In their ears? Huh? In my case, I get goosebumps. Sadoko was supposed to be cooking dinner tonight. We didn't have much inside the refrigerator, so I asked her to go grocery shopping. How am I? I'm doing pretty good. We're making another trip to the cat cafe today, so I'm doing great. Cat. I was just watching TV and relaxing while I waited for her. She was usually back by the time my cartoon was over, after which she'd start cooking dinner. But my cartoon was over. The news had started and Satoko wasn't home yet. Satoko sometimes waited until they had a sale at the store. Cats, sure to get pics and non-doxing footage? Absolutely, yes, I will do that. In that case, she'd usually come home late. That must be what was happening. It was too early for me to start worrying about her. But... I can't explain this feeling. I can't explain it, but I feel extremely worried. Once I started feeling like that, I couldn't just sit in the room and wait for her. Hanyu? Hanyu? Where are you? I thought she might know where Satoko might be, but she's never around when I need her. Hanyu is not with me 24 hours a day. She sometimes falls asleep, and sometimes she goes out for walks. Though in her case, it's not a walk, but more like a stalk. She follows people around when she finds someone interesting, and she enjoys observing them. Anyway, I had no choice. I have to find Satoko on my own. I had a good idea of which store Satoko goes to. I should check those first. We're in Hinamizawa. If I asked people, they'd tell me where she went.
Hello there, Rika-chama. It's a blessing to see you here.
Nippa. Did Satoko come here today by any chance?
I haven't seen Satoko-chan here. I've been out here all day, so I would have seen her if she was here.
I didn't even have time to say thanks. I ran to the next store. People were greeting me and waving at me. I'd usually smile and greet them back, but I had no time for that at the moment. Satoko. Satoko. Satoko! I need Satoko in my life. I was able to survive for so long because of her support. Without her, this world would be so empty and boring. Satoko is nonchalant and optimistic, unlike me. I've learned so many things from her over the past 100 years. But I still need to learn more from her. Satoko! Satoko! People stared at me as I ran by them, screaming out her name. I didn't care what they thought, though. Satoko! 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 Why are they looking at me like that? I'm looking for Satoko. Somebody tell me where she is. My heart was convulsing inside my body like a fish out of the water. What little stamina I have, I hate my body for being so young.
You know, the store on the corner always has a sale in the evening. She might be there.
I went to a few different places, but I still couldn't find her anywhere. The people I talked to gave me advice on where to go, but I couldn't find her in any of the places they suggested. I continued to run looking for her. I continued to run even when I bumped into people.
I don't know. I've had so many customers I can't remember.
Did you beat Podorob? I think you said you were on floor 1. I did, actually. I finally did beat it, and I beat it with Litten, which is what I wanted to do. So now I'm playing through again, and I'm looking for a Badu because I still don't have one. And that infuriates me. I must have one. Cat power, exactly. There are only a few places in Hinamizawa where we can go grocery shopping. It shouldn't be that difficult to find her, so why couldn't I?
I'm not gonna lie though, I was heavily carried by my Gyarados. My Gyarados bodied nearly everything. It was amazing.
What? I tripped on something in the street and fell flat on the ground. Ouch. I injured my hand on a small rock embedded in the ground. I didn't feel much pain even though I said ouch. It just felt hot, as if I had touched a frying pan. Suddenly, someone handed me a pretty handkerchief. Are you okay? Did you get hurt? Rena, did you see Satoko anywhere? Rena was carrying a grocery bag. I've heard that Satoko bumps into Rena often when she goes grocery shopping. They tend to choose the same stores. Satoko-chan? No, I didn't see her today. Was she out grocery shopping? Yes. You didn't see her? No, I didn't. But there's no way she would have missed the big sale at the market today. I was there, but I didn't see her. My brain wasn't getting enough oxygen. It took me a while to understand what Rena was talking about. I understood that Rena didn't see Satoko. But that wasn't the point. They had a huge sale in the market today. There's no way that Satoko would miss that sale. But she still didn't see her there? What was that supposed to mean?
What happened? Did she leave her wallet at home or something?
Well, I couldn't find the right words to explain. Should I tell her that I feared something bad happened to Satoko, and that's why I was looking for her? No, I couldn't do that. I couldn't think too deeply about why she hadn't returned home.
What's wrong? Can't I help you out? Talk to me.
I knew she was just trying to help me, even though I needed someone to help me just a few moments before. But now that she was here, I had no idea what I was supposed to say. No, that's not it. The truth is, I know. Somehow, I know. I wouldn't have to know if I was someone else. But I have to know this. Rika Furude has to know what's going on. I know it. I remember it. I knew this was coming. I've experienced a world before where Satoko suddenly disappeared. But the possibility for that happening is as low as Akasaka showing up in Hinamizawa. It only happened randomly in my other lives. This is not the first time. It happened before too. I should see it for myself. I needed to see if I'd got stuck inside a devastating world again.
Will you talk to me?
I'm sorry. Goodbye.
Hey, Rika-chan.
I started running. I couldn't pretend like I didn't know where she was. Please, don't tell me that I was blessed only up to this point, that I'm about to fall back into my unfortunate fate from here on. I thought that this world was different. I thought I could move on to a happy future. I thought I would be able to defeat my deadly fate in this life. But this was just horrible. It was horrible that this was happening to this world. I was standing in front of the place that I hate the most in Hinamizawa. Yes, it's Satoko's real home, the Hojo residence. I'd been living with her since last fall, so this house was empty. In the beginning, she used to come back here to pick up her clothing and other necessities. But once she moved most of her stuff to my house, Satoko stayed away from this place. This was a sad place for Satoko, because all she could remember of it was the horrible time she spent with her uncle and aunt and the memory of her missing brother Satoshi. That's why she never wanted to come back here. But that wasn't the reason I hated this house. It's because I know what happens whenever this house becomes an issue in my life. Oh God, please. Please bless me with just one more fortune. I closed my eyes and prayed. Then I slowly opened them. The window was open on the second floor. I saw a faded curtain swinging inside. As soon as I saw that, my knees realized what was going on, even before my mind processed it. In the next moment, I lost strength in my legs and collapsed on the ground. I saw an unfamiliar motorcycle parked by the house. I also saw laundry and a futon hanging outside. I was certain that someone was living here. It was proof that someone was living inside this house. It's never good when there's someone living inside this house. This was very, very bad. I knew exactly why. I knew why, but I felt like I wanted to act like I didn't know.
Rika?
Satoko. Satoko went outside to take the futon in and noticed me.
Rika?
Satoko looked down and forced herself to smile. I felt so sad. It wasn't just her expression. I could tell that her left cheek was red and swollen. Satoko, don't stay here. Let's go home. I took her hand, but she still looked down without squeezing back.
Rika, I think I'm going to go back to this house.
Why is that?
My uncle came back, and he told me we should live together in this house.
I know that's not what you want. You don't want to live with your mean uncle.
But I have no choice. If I go back to your house, he'll come and get me. I don't want to cause any trouble for you.
She gave up with a sad smile. She looks exactly how she looked 1 year ago in 1982. Her uncle only slapped her face and she's back to being the Satoko from 1982. The cheerful Satoko that I knew until yesterday could no longer be found. I took care of Satoko and tried to heal her wounded heart for over a year. She finally got her smile back. But her uncle took it all away just with one slap to the face. A broken soul can recover over time, but her damaged heart can never be fixed completely. I just took the broken pieces and put them back together. The cracks in her heart will always be there. That's why she wouldn't come with me, no matter how hard I tried to pull her hand. She couldn't get over the fear. She knew just how scary her uncle could be.
Satoko, what the hell are you doing? You better not go anywhere.
I heard a disgusting voice from inside the house. Satoko stared at the ground. Her shoulders were shaking.
Huh? Who the hell is this?
He came out and stood right behind her.
It's nothing. I just bumped into my friend.
I don't care. Go inside and clean the bathtub. I want to take a bath, you idiot.
Satoko scampered back inside the house like a terrified small animal. I felt devastated as I watched her go.
Are you asking her out to play? I'm sorry, but she's busy taking care of chores. I'm her uncle. I've been out for a while on a business trip. I'm finally back in the village, you know.
Liar. He only showed back up because his lover went missing. In another world, I once let my hatred out on him. But then he inflicted that anger in equal turn onto Satoko. So I couldn't allow the dark flame burning within my chest to reflect in my eyes. Since I couldn't make myself smile and I couldn't insult him, all I could do was give him a short bow and run away from the scene.
You're intimidated by my scary face, huh? Yeah.
I heard his hideous laughter from behind me. I cried as I ran away. I couldn't stop crying. I thought this was the perfect world up until today. Why was God doing this to me? It was too cruel. But I couldn't give up yet. I couldn't do anything, but I still had hope for this world. I didn't think the luck I had until yesterday was just a random thing. I went back to my house in a hurry. I needed to make a phone call. I didn't know the number because it was my first time calling the place. I looked inside the phone book, and I found it easily. I made a call to that number.
Oh, hello. Didn't expect to get a call from you, Furude-san. What can I do for you?
I already knew that Oishi could never save Satoko, based on what I've seen in my previous lives. For him, Satoko is only a good way to get at the Sonozaki family. Her uncle is probably his prey in that regard too. Even if I talked to him about her situation, he would do nothing to save her. The only thing he'd tell me would be to call the Child Consultation Center. I want to talk to Akasaka. Is he there?
Akasaka-san. He went to the hot springs in Wakura with his wife.
Wakura. That's not anywhere near here. I thought he was staying here until Watanagashi.
I heard he's going to stay in a hotel owned by a relative of his. I wish I could go too. What? You want to know where Wakura is? It's in the Ishikawa prefecture, on the Noto Peninsula.
No way. He told me that he was staying here until Watanagashi. I thought he meant he was staying in Hinamizawa. But did he actually mean this area of the country in general? Can you get a hold of him somehow? That was a meaningless question. There's no way I could get him to come here while he's enjoying his trip with his wife. Even if I could talk to him on the phone, he'll probably only tell me to call the child consultation center or something.
I don't know where he's staying. I heard it's a very famous luxury hotel, so I could make a pretty good guess. But I'm sure they won't give me the room number since they're strict about customer privacy these days.
Okay then. Did Akasaka tell you that he's coming to the Watanagashi festival?
Yes, he did. He's coming back here after the hot springs. They stayed here for only one night and then left for the Noto Peninsula. I'm sure they'll be back before the day of the festival. He said he'd be back with a souvenir for you.
How terrible. I thought it was too good to be true. I knew it was kind of strange for him to stay in a boring place like this. My luck seemed to be turning. This might not be a surprise, though. Just like I can roll 6 3 times in a row, I can roll a 1 3 times in a row, too. Happy things and unhappy things can happen with an equal probability.
Hello? If you want to leave a message, I'll take it for you.
I looked at the calendar on the wall. I didn't know when he was coming back, but I was certain he wouldn't be for at least 1 more week. I thought back to the past to try and remember what happened. That guy will break Satoko apart in 1 week. I couldn't wait that long. I had to give up on seeking help from Akasaka. Well, that's okay. I still had 1 more option. 1 more person I could rely on. No, that's all right. Thank you for your help. Nipa. I hung up the phone after thanking him. I couldn't make a phone call to the next person. I'd have to talk to him in person. I put my shoes on and headed to the EDA clinic. The clinic's hours were over for the day. There was usually no one here after that. However, since Tomitake was here, they should still be inside the building for a meeting. They had to be there. The front door of the clinic was locked, as I expected. I went around to the back door and rang the bell. The whole clinic is nervous when Tomitake is around. They usually ignore visitors, but I'm special.
What's wrong? I heard you had an emergency. You need me too? That doesn't sound good.
Irie and Takano showed up soon after I was taken to the visitors' room. If Rika Furude has an emergency, then it's a priority for these 2 people. I'm the most important person in the village.
Could it be someone is trying to get you? You're protected at all times by the elite security of the mountain dogs. They've been watching you since the day we made that promise.
I had no doubt about that. They saved me right away when we had that confrontation with those 3 delinquents the other day. That's not it. I have a favor to ask. I want you to save Satoko from danger.
What happened to Satoko-chan?
Irie doesn't have that much power alone, even if he really wants to save her. But Takano controls the mountain dogs, so she does have that power. In my previous lives, I was never able to get help from the mountain dogs because I wasn't on good terms with Takano. But this world is different. I have a better relationship with her in this life, and she even kept the promise she made. I trust their ability completely now.
Teppei Hojo-san is back. That's horrible.
It was mainly Satoko's aunt who was abusing her last year. but Irie knows that her uncle was violent with her too. I told them that Satoko had gone back to the same condition she was in the previous year. I don't know what'll happen. I need you to help me save Satoko. Irie seemed to want to do something for her, but he didn't know exactly what to do.
What shall we do? Shall we call the police and let them know? I don't know about that. At this point, all he did was come back and take her in as her legal guardian, right? It's not like she's been seriously injured by him. That's not the case, right?
But it's only a matter of time. Something bad is going to happen if we don't do anything. I hate to say that it's only a matter of time. I knew how she was going to get abused and how she was going to end up. I've seen it in the past. I really wanted to tell them about it, but I couldn't do that. As it hasn't happened in this world yet, they just think I was imagining it.
I think you should call the Child Consultation Center first. I remember. Satoko-chan made a false report at the Child Consultation Center once. I wonder if they would take her seriously.
The answer is no. My friends contacted the Child Consultation Center several times in the past, but Satoko always refuses their help. She claims that she isn't being abused. The Satoko from 1983 might have asked for their help, but currently she was the Satoko from 1982. For her, living with her uncle reminds her of the time when Satoshi was around. She feels like Satoshi will come back if she can live strongly without always relying on her brother. Even if the Child Consultation Center were to take the case seriously, it's just too late. I tried to remember. In the most recent world I experienced, it only took a few days after Satoko was kidnapped by her uncle. It only took her a few days for him to tear her heart apart. We had no time to waste. We needed to take action quickly.
We can't really do anything unless she seeks help. I think Dr. Irie can call the police, but that's about it. I'm very sorry.
That's not it. I want you to help her, Takano. Irie and Takano looked shocked, and both went quiet. They didn't expect me to seek help from Takano.
You mean, you want us to take a much bolder action?
I'm here to ask for that. I wouldn't be here this late otherwise.
I understand, but...
Irie, if you truly cherish Satoko, then please just listen to me this once. Please save Satoko. In less than a few days, she'll really end up in horrible shape. That's already guaranteed. But if you try to wait and see how things go, it'll be no different than watching her die. Have you forgotten how Satoko was last year, Irie? She's already reverted to that state, right this very second. In a few more days, it'll be too late to do anything. All I could do was stare at him. Believing that Irie could see the future only I knew, the tragic end awaiting Satoko reflected in my eyes. Irie remained silent for too long a time to call brief. Someone trying to think of some excuse to avoid the issue wouldn't go silent that long. He was recalling Satoko's terrible state last year and seriously considering if my plea was as urgent as I made it out to be. I know that he really cares about her. That's why I need his help.
What shall we do?
Irie nodded and looked up. I guess he finally came to a conclusion. I just hope it's a positive one.
Takano-san, please do what Rika-chan wants you to do.
Irie!
I remember how hopeless I felt when I couldn't do anything to save Satoko-chan last year. I want to take this chance and save her this time. But doctor...
Takano didn't think that Irie would make that decision. She seemed shocked to hear his response.
I would like to ask you as the director of this clinic. Please, help Satoko-chan. Dr. Irie, what do you mean when you say to help her? Please, calm down. Satoko-chan is very important to us. She's greatly contributed to our research for a long time. Protecting her is considered one of your work orders.
Irie continued, though Takano tried to persuade him.
Kyosuke Irie is asking you as your boss. Please, save Satoko-chan.
I stared into Takano's eyes together with him. I thought you and Satoko were friends. Please help her, as her friend.
Help her? Huh? That's a hypocritical way of saying it. You're not telling me to kidnap her and lock her up somewhere safe. You want me to help her so that she can have a normal, happy life. In other words, you want her uncle dead, right? You have the right to make the ultimate decision of how you're going to save her. But if you don't want to, I don't mind making that decision. Dr. Irie? No. Section Chief. If we carry out your order, both you and I will be responsible for it. Are you sure you're ready for that?
I looked at his face. Unlike me, Irie has many things to lose. I knew that Takano's words would shake him emotionally. However, Irie was determined.
Yes, that's fine. Even if I'm called forward to defend my actions, that's better than betraying my own heart. An impressive show from someone who doesn't know what a hearing is like. If you do it quietly, then they may not find out about it in Tokyo. Everyone would be happy that way. All risk and no reward.
If you want, I'll show you more treasures in the shrine. I'll never restrict you from seeing those things, so please help me. The risk she's taking is larger than the reward I'm offering. But that's about the only thing I can offer her. I don't care about the traditions of the Furude Shrine as long as I could save my friend from her suffering.
Fine. I don't want to be the bad guy here.
She forced a smile and accepted the favor I asked her for.
Thank you, Takano-san. I want you to make the decision of how to save her. I'll have a meeting with Okonogi later to plan out the mission.
Not later. It has to be now. She promised to save Satoko, but she still wasn't motivated for it. It'd be too late if she didn't do something right now. I tried to make Takano understand that this is an urgent matter.
That's right. Rika-chan and I want to see some kind of result right now. I'm sorry for asking you this at this time, but could you please contact them now? You guys are so passionate about her. Okay. It might take a few minutes. Thank you very much. No problem. It's an order from my boss. I'll do whatever I can. Just don't forget that promise you made, Rika-chan.
I promise. I'll even serve you some rice cakes and tea when you come to the shrine. Takano smiled slightly and left the room. Once we finally heard her footsteps fade away, the tension in the room resolved.
Dissolved? Resolved? Eh? Dissolved. Mabi. I can't read.
Irie offered me something to drink, but I refused. He must have thought everything was taken care of, but I couldn't relax until Satoko was physically returned to me. Irie, does she have enough medication with her? Her uncle will keep her locked inside the house, so she won't be able to come here for a while.
Fortunately, I gave her a stock of medicine and needles last week. She should be fine for a while. However, her mental state can't be controlled by the medication. If she gets too stressed, that can really cause some damage.
That'll happen within a few days. Takano hadn't come back yet. I thought it would be bad news if she came back too early, but I started feeling nervous after she had taken so long. Irie insisted that I go home because it was getting very late. I couldn't go home and relax, however, until I heard from her that everything was taken care of. I had to wait for her to come back. I needed to deal with this tension until then. Over an hour later, Takano finally returned.
I'm sorry it took so long. How did it go?
She was looking for the right words. I got a very bad feeling from her reaction alone.
Unfortunately, it won't go as easy as we hoped anymore. Why is that? There was a murder case in Okinomiya not too long ago. The police suspect Teppei Hojo of involvement in the crime, and they have him marked. Murder case? What do you mean? Some woman named Mamiya laid her hands on the Sonosaki family's earnings and was murdered to set an example. Apparently, the police have taken an interest in the relationship between the Hojos and the Sonosakis. Turns out that woman was Teppei Hojo's lover. Watanagashi is getting closer too. The police want to prevent the 5th curse of Oyashiro-sama this year, so they've marked Teppei Hojo as the candidate for this year's victim and started casting their lines. What do you mean by lines? They suspect that they can reel in the true culprit behind Oyashiro-sama's curse if they keep their eyes on Teppei Hojo. So, you mean... Rika-chan, I'm very sorry, but the mountain dogs can't do anything to him until the police stop spying on him. No! I thought the mountain dogs could perform any mission, no matter how difficult. That's only when we plan it out carefully with extensive preparation. Usually, we take a long time to observe the target and we look for the right opportunity. It could take between 6 months and 1 year for a mission like this. Remember, we are a secret organization. We must remain out of the spotlight. If our secret is revealed, everything is over. It's too risky for us to target someone like him. Then when is the right opportunity coming? It'll be after Watanagashi at the earliest. After the festival, the police will stop watching him.
But that would be too late. She's saying it'd be after Watanagashi. I didn't even know if that was a day or a year after. She also said it usually takes at least 6 months to prepare this kind of mission. That's too long. I thought this world was different, but that hope was slipping through my fingers.
So how can we save Satoko-chan? I think it's best to follow the rules. We should report this to the police or the Child Consultation Center. You've registered for Pokemon Rogue. Oh my gosh, good luck! I wish you the best run, the luckiest run. I hope you have fun. I really like it. We can even talk to the school.
I did that so many times, but it never worked. Irie and Takano were surprised. They'd never expected me to raise my voice. Of course, let me know how it goes. In fact, I didn't think myself that I would react this way. But I couldn't keep my emotions in check after Takano suggested all those meaningless solutions. I've cooperated with you guys all this time. I never asked for anything and I just gave you my support. But now you can't save Satoko? With all that power you have, why are you so afraid of saving her? The police and public services are useless. You guys only take advantage of us and never actually help. Fine, I get it now. I know that this world is nothing but a dead end. I'm not interested in you guys anymore. I don't care about this world anymore. That's right. I can never escape my fate. It's the same old fate that I keep on repeating. You, just burn to death in the mountains. You, just take sleeping pills and commit suicide. I'll just die like I always do too. I'll lose my life without knowing how I'm killed. This life is nothing but a dead end. I was born to be killed in this world. Die, everyone, die! There's no meaning to this world anymore. Wah! Wah! I can't put words to my emotions anymore, and I started to cry. I was so lucky up until yesterday. I had so much hope in my heart, but it had all been for nothing. It felt like everything was falling apart. I lived for more than 100 years. I've lived longer than a normal human lifetime. I thought I was blessed with good fortune for the first time in my life. This would never happen to me again. I thought a miracle had occurred, but everything was shattered. I cried and cursed this world. I needed to give up on my life as soon as possible. Satoko would be waiting for me with a smile in my next one. I wanted to go and see her. But what would happen to the Satoko in this world? What would happen if I abandoned her? I didn't know, and I didn't care. Satoko, 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 Satoko. I'm a witch who has lived for 100 years, but I still couldn't rid myself of the human emotions in my heart. I didn't get anything to eat because Satoko was supposed to be making dinner tonight. But I didn't have an appetite anyway, so I figured I should just go to bed. I still had to make lunch for the next day, though. Satoko might come to school tomorrow. I rinsed the rice, hoping that I wouldn't have to waste the lunch that I was making for the two of us. I had to stop thinking like that. I already knew it was a waste to make her lunch. I already knew that Satoko wasn't coming to school ever again. I felt so miserable while rinsing the rice. The tears started dropping into it as I thought about her. Why was this happening in this world? I thought everything had changed when Keiichi gave that doll to Mion. In that world, Mion pretended to be her sister for a week and got closer to Keiichi. But that wasn't happening this time. I thought we would be having a good time until the festival. Huh? That's odd. Wasn't that club activity 2 weeks before Watanagashi? I'd realized something. Club activity was exactly the same, but it had happened 1 week earlier than in the world I knew of. It was 1 week earlier than in my previous life. I get it now. I thought I was familiar with this world. It was actually a different one where events are mixed up. That means that even though Keiichi gave the doll to Mion, that didn't solve everything. I thought I was getting lucky. I was confident that everything was going to be okay. I stopped making an effort. I knew that there was a possibility that Satoko's uncle was coming back, but I let her go do the grocery shopping. I would have been more careful and kept her at home if I knew that he was coming back to get her. I should be careful in my next life. But there wouldn't be a next life that was so fortunate. I didn't get lucky that often. Even if I locked Satoko inside the closet, it would be over if Rena's father messed up something or if Keiji lost his mind. I have to clear up everything that's not within my reach, and I also have to make the best effort I can. Without that, I can't overcome the fate of 1983. In this life, I may be able to overcome my deadly fate with Takano's help, but Satoko will not be there in my future. That defeats the whole purpose. My goal is to survive this year while laughing with my best friends. Does it take a while to load? Sometimes. Usually if you refresh it, it saves after every floor. So refreshing the page kind of acts as like a soft reset for that particular floor and like a save state. So if you get stuck on a fight, if you just refresh it, you can try it multiple times. I don't want to sacrifice Satoko in order to survive. It's made registered and now it's just loading? I would give it a couple minutes and then if it's still loading, try refreshing again. I don't want to live in a world without her. I was blessed with all those fortunes, but I still couldn't defeat my destiny. I ruined everything because I stopped working so hard. I will never again have a lucky life like this. Yeah, I hope it works for you. I lost my first and only chance. I cried and scratched at the floor. I didn't know if I should curse my fate or curse myself for not putting forth enough effort. Before I realized it, Hanyu was standing in front of me. I didn't know how long she'd been there. She just stared down at me with a look of pity on her face.
Hanyu,
I know what you're trying to say.
you want to tell me that you told me not to get my hopes up.
There's no way I wouldn't get my hopes up. With it being the first time I was blessed with so many fortunate circumstances, I believed that everything would go so well. But You were always telling me not to expect too much. She probably felt something strange at the toy store that day. She realized that the date was 1 week off and that this was not the same old world that I knew. She realized early on that I still shouldn't be too excited about this life. I've been with you for a long time, so let me tell you this first before you ask me. I couldn't predict what fate held for us today either. The only advice I could give you is this. Fate in this world is as fickle as the weather, nothing more than a trifle unworthy of joy or sorrow. There are 6 sides on a die. That's the reality of it, and it doesn't mean that 6 is the best number either. I should just take any number that I roll. I shouldn't be disappointed if I roll a 1 a few times in a row. It's pathetic how I thought rolling a 6 was the best result you could obtain. I still have many things to learn, even though I've been living for more than 100 years. I told you several times, but this world is not a miracle. If you wait patiently, you'll come across a real miracle someday. How many decades am I supposed to wait patiently? How many centuries do I have to wait? We don't have much power left anymore. I don't think we could go back to a time before June of 1983. The amount of time we can rewind keeps decreasing. You're telling me to just repeat that short amount of time for years? I almost lost my mind when I was repeating a few years over and over again. But you're telling me to repeat 1 or 2 weeks for years until the miracle happens? That's impossible. I was betting on this world. I bet all of my coins on this one world. And I lost. I lost all of my coins to this fate. I have no more coins left in my heart. These coins are known as hope. I have no coins left to hope for my dreams to come true.
Oh, Rika.
I lay on the floor as if I collapsed. The floor should have been cold, but I didn't feel anything. I lost all of my hope. I always thought people could survive as long as they had some bread and water. But that's not right. People can't live without hope. People can survive because they believe that something good will happen to them eventually, as long as they keep on living. But that's just for normal people who don't know what awaits them in their future. There's no hope for a witch like me. I don't care about anything anymore. I don't care about this life, and I don't care about the next. I just want to disappear and turn to ash.
Oh, Rika, please don't say that. Rika.
Anyu's voice gradually fades away. I slowly lost my senses as I lay down on the kitchen floor and let myself sink into the darkness.
That was crazy.
I dragged my body to school, hoping that Satoko might be there. But just as I expected, there was no one sitting in her seat. I felt all the more devastated just seeing it empty. I had nothing left to bet on. All I could do was get hurt and suffer devastation. Blood flowed from my broken heart and found its way out through my eyes in the form of tears.
Is something wrong, Furude-san? Is Hojo-san absent today?
The whole class was wondering why I came in late today and why Satoko wasn't with me. But even if I felt sympathy from everyone's eyes on me, I didn't feel any promise from them. No one here was able to save Satoko. No one. No one could save her. Why should I have to keep smiling at all these useless people? This world is finished anyway. If I leave matters alone, then a few days after the Watanagashi festival, My movie reel will be cut as I'm murdered like usual, and I'll return to the beginning of this month again. And so I'll continue to live forever in June 1983. Trapped here. Even death won't set me free from that prison.
Furude-san, please talk to me if something happened. Where is Hojo-san? Is she sick?
Shut up. The whole class gasped. No one expected Rika Furude to talk like that. I myself made such blunt statements a few times in several past worlds, but it was always the first time anyone in that world heard anything like that. That must have been very easy for them, and I envied it.
Furude-san?
Chie was standing there, dumbfounded. I stood up from my seat. If Satoko wasn't around, I didn't want to be locked up inside of this humid place. I'm going home. I'm not coming here anymore. Goodbye. I felt like saying something like that. However, I retained the small hope that Satoko might go to school the next day, so I kept it to myself. However, Chie wouldn't let me go. She grabbed me by the arm and dragged me to the teacher's office instead. Chie told me to take a seat on a couch by the principal's office. She had no right to tell me what to do. I could just escape through the open window. As I didn't have that kind of energy, however, I sat on the couch as she told me to. I realized then that I didn't even have the energy to be rebellious. Maybe Satoko felt the same. She lost the energy to rebel, and so she was simply obeying her uncle.
Furude-san, please tell me what's going on. I'm sure I can help you.
Chie spoke to me, but I already knew that her words were empty. All she would do was call the child consultation center. She wouldn't go to the Hojo residence and pull Satoko out of there. So there was no point in even discussing the topic with her. If I told her, she wouldn't keep it to herself. And shortly, everyone would know about what was happening with Satoko. That would only result in chaos. If they called the child consultation center, the staff from there would go and visit Satoko. Her uncle would deny the abuse, and Satoko would also deny it because of the guilt she feels over Satoshi leaving. Shortly after, they'll find out about the false reports Satoko made before, and they'll decide to not proceed any further. Her uncle will allow Satoko to go to school for a few days, but his abuse will get worse because he'll think she's the one who called the child consultation center. He'll do horrible things to her, just like her aunt did last year. Calling the child consultation center will not help Satoko. It'll instead put her in an even worse situation. It's better not to notify them at all. But if we don't report it, then how else is this world supposed to improve? No, nothing is going to change. There's nothing that can be done once this unfortunate fate overtakes Satoko.
You say Hojo-san's uncle is back. Is that true?
I'd somehow answered all of Chie's questions without noticing. I knew that nothing would change whether I spoke to her or not, so I just told her everything, because I had no energy to rebel.
I understand what's going on now. This is horrible.
So, now that you know what's going on, what can you do? Chie answered right away, without faltering, already used to my spiteful tone.
I'll visit her house today. I need to see Satoko-chan and talk to her first.
Then if there's a problem, you're going to call the child consultation center, right? They'll have it on record showing that she made false reports in the past. They'll never do anything unless there's proof of abuse. They're just like the police, who don't start investigations until after someone is dead. They won't do anything unless Satoko is killed. When that happens, this is what both the school and the child consultation center will say. We never saw this coming. She was such a bright girl. They'll just repeat the same words as if they were scripted.
No poke rope for you? It's not working? No.
You people are idiots.
I believe
that the people from the center will do something about it. I'll make sure to tell them that she needs help. You've done the same in previous lives, too. No idea if it even registered. Aw, that's weird. Maybe they have like a troubleshooting thing for that? I wasn't denying her passion, but I couldn't say there was meaning to it. The problem wasn't with Chie. The problem was with them. No matter how hard Chie tried to seek help from the child services, it meant nothing as long as they held biased notions about Satoko. I tried throwing my laptop out a window, that should work. Pain. It doesn't matter if they find proof of abuse or not. I suddenly heard a voice from the hallway. It was Shion's voice. Chie shouted, "Who's there?" And I heard Mion gasping, "Crap!" They must have been listening to our conversation. They were having a quiet discussion outside the door, but Shion accidentally raised her voice. She gets so violent sometimes. 4 people entered into the room from the hallway. Mion, Shion, Keiichi, and Rena. I told you to stay in class. Go back to the classroom. We can't. Not in this situation. What are you going to do if something happens to Satoko? Do you want to be responsible for that? There's no time to waste. We have to do something right now. My sis is saying that things will get worse unless there's some kind of proof of abuse, but it'll be too late once there is. Do you want to see Satoko dead, Mion? That's not what I'm trying to say. Like I told you, Satoko once made a false report to the abuse hotline, and they have that record at the Child Consultation Center. Without proof, they won't investigate her case any further. Just think about what that means. It'll only make her uncle more furious. Satoko's situation will get even worse. What the hell? That's supposed to help her before something happens, right? Oh, they're supposed to help her. Are they really not going to do anything unless she's seriously injured?
Calm down, you two. I feel the same as Shi-chan and Keiichi-kun. I don't want to wait until something bad happens. But we need to think about what we could do.
What can we do? Talk to the Child Consultation Center, right? If we had the guarantee they'd help her, it'll all be fine. But Mion, you're saying it's highly likely they'll put her case on hold, right? Yeah. Unfortunately, that's what I think they'll do, just like last year. On top of that, she was in an even worse situation then. They put her case on hold even though Satoko was already in horrible shape. But this time, it's only been a day since her uncle took her away. Plus, her uncle has legal custody of her. We don't need to be so roundabout. All we have to do is ambush that guy and kill him.
Shi-chan, you can't do that. Satoshi-kun wouldn't want that.
Then how should we save Satoko? Satoshi-kun entrusted me. He trusted me to look after Satoko. If anything happens to Satoko, I could never face him again. Having our hands tied until after Satoko's been thoroughly abused isn't an option. When a crime is taking place before your eyes, is reporting it the first thing you do? No, it isn't. You stop it. We have to stop this ourselves. Calm down, Shion. You're the head of the Sonozaki family, aren't you? Use your power to save Satoko. You could do it, can't you? You have enough power to save her. I know. The Hag's policy is to stay completely out of Hojo affairs because of her grudge over the dam conflict, right? No matter what happens to Satoko, the Sonozaki main branch intends to ignore it, don't they? If neither the Child Consultation Center nor the Sonozaki family can save her, I have to do it on my own. I'm going to do it. I'm going to kill that pig. I'm going to do it right now. It's not going to take more than 1,500 seconds for me to get to her house and stab him to death. What can you do in 1,500 seconds? You can't do anything, can you? I'm going to do it. I'm going to help her. Let me go! I'm going to kill him right now! Ah! Shion-san, settle down. Stop saying that or you're going to get in big trouble. They were desperately discussing how to save her. I just sat on the couch and stared at them vaguely. I had seen the same discussion many times in many different situations. I was tired of listening to it. The only difference was that everything was happening a few days earlier than usual.
Rika.
It's okay. I'm not going to expect anything good anymore. I don't have any hope left in my heart. Hanyu made a sad expression. I couldn't tell if she was sad about our fate or if she was taking pity on me. Just as she promised, Chie went to Satoko's house after school. It had only been a day since Satoko's uncle took her away. She wouldn't be able to tell if he'd heard her already or not. If the students hadn't made such a big fuss about it, Chie would have waited a couple days before going to her house. She already knew, however, about what happened to Satoko the previous year. She also knew that her uncle was abusing her just like her aunt, and that he had neglected to act as her guardian for the whole year. Considering those factors, it might not have been too soon for her to visit the Hojo residence. Satoko hadn't shown up in school that day. No one called the school to explain her absence. That alone was proof that her uncle wasn't taking responsibility as her guardian. Chie was going to her house to see what was going on with her own eyes. She parked the car in the street and checked the map she brought from the school. It said Hojo residence on the sign in front of the house. Chie was certain that this had to be the place. The window on the second floor was open, and she could see a curtain hanging there. From that window, she could hear the laughing voices of several old men. No one had answered the phone when she called right before leaving the school. She could also hear the clicking noise of mahjong tiles along with the voices. She'd never played mahjong before, but had a pretty good idea that was what it was. But she had a pretty good idea that was it from the way the men were talking. If they were playing mahjong, there must have been 3 other men inside the house. Her students had told her that Satoko's uncle was a very violent man. Chie was a teacher, true, but she was also just a young lady. She felt hesitant to ring the doorbell after hearing their disgusting laughter. But courage drove her forward. She made her decision and rang the doorbell. She heard the bell ring inside the house. But the laughing voices continued to echo from the second floor. It seemed as though they didn't hear the bell. She rang the bell again, and this time the laughter stopped for a moment. Someone must have heard the sound. But soon after, they started laughing again. It didn't sound like anyone was coming to get the door. She thought someone heard the bell, but perhaps not. Chie was sure that they were home, of course. She couldn't leave just because no one was answering the door. She knocked and yelled loudly this time. "Hello? Are you home, Hojo-san?" Finally, the laughter stopped, and a man with a scary look on his face opened the door.
Who the heck are you? Shut up and get out of here!
Chie felt intimidated by him, but her heart was filled with the teacher's pride and responsibility. "Hello, are you Hojo-san? I'm..." Before she could introduce herself, Teppei screamed at her.
Just shut up! I don't need no newspaper, no milk, no insurance. I'm busy right now. I'm working.
The people in the room laughed when he told her he was working. Chie wouldn't give up. She continued to speak. "I'm the teacher at Hinamizawa Branch School. My name is Chie. Is Satoko Hojo-san here?"
Ah? What the hell? What do you want with Satoko?
"I came here because she didn't come to school today. I wasn't able to get a hold of her, so I'm wondering what happened."
Ah? School?
"Yes. Is she home? I need to talk with her."
She's sick. That's right. She has a cold. Satoko's resting because she has a fever.
"I need to give her some handouts. May I please see her?"
Freaking idiot. Weren't you listening to what I just said? Satoko is sick. She's sleeping right now. I can't let you see her.
"I see. Do you think she could come to school tomorrow?"
Who knows? I won't know until then, you idiot.
I see. All right. Please tell her that I came by." Thank you. Chie bowed, but by the time she lifted up her head, Teppei was no longer there. When Chie returned to the school, several students emerged from the classroom. They were Keiichi, Rena, Mion, and Shion. Rika was also still inside the classroom, but she wouldn't come outside.
Shin-sensei, how did it go?
You went to Satoko's house, right? You were all waiting for me? Chie-sensei, how was Satoko doing? Was she okay? Well, I didn't get to see her. What the hell were you doing? You're a teacher, right? You came back just because he didn't let you see her? Stop it, Shion. That's about what we expected. I'm sure Satoko has a bruise on her face by now. That's why he didn't want you to see her. You should have just ran into the house. I can't even trust you anymore. I'm sorry.
Stop it, Shi-chan. She did the best she could.
Now we know for sure. Satoko's uncle definitely has her locked inside the house. We knew that from the start. Rika-chan has been telling you all day today. We wasted half a day just to find out if that's true. How the hell do you think you can help Satoko? Calm down. Let's make a plan. We care about her just as much as you do. We're not going to abandon her. Let's come up with a way to save Satoko. I already gave you my opinion, didn't I? It's the best solution we have. I can handle it all by myself. I only need your help to hide his body.
Stop it, Shi-chan. Stop saying such violent things. Murder is a serious crime. It's the worst you could even think about.
Then give me a different idea. If my idea is wrong, then give me a different one, even if it's only a little bit better. Come on. Come on. See? You can't even say anything. I could save Satoko in 1500 seconds. I'll just drag his body to the Onigafuji swamp and dump him in there. I don't even need your help, sis. What's wrong? Why don't you come up with another idea for saving her?
That's not the point. If you try to figure out by yourself, that's all you'll ever think of. Let me tell you something. 1500 seconds? That's taking way too long. I would save her within 1000 seconds. If I were you, I'd leave here silently and do what I want to do. Do you know why I'm not doing that? Because someone told me once that even if it's the only option you have, murder is still something that you should never do. It's not the right thing to do, and it's never the best thing you could do either. You just think it's the best solution because you're not thinking properly. A long time ago, I don't know who told me this, but someone taught it to me. If there's something that troubles you, you can't think about it all on your own. You can't think that your own solution is the best way to conclude things. We should all think about it together. If we brainstorm, I'm sure we'll come up with a better solution.
It's not about whether my idea is wrong or right. Just think about it. Every minute we waste puts Satoko in more danger. Do you hate the Hojo family that much? No one is supposed to help Satoshi-kun and Satoko, no matter how much they're struggling. I'm going to help her. Get out of my way. I'm leaving right now. I'm going to stab that loser and save Satoko.
No, Shi-chan. Shi-chan.
You guys should curse yourselves. Curse your powerlessness. Fine. Brainstorm for another idea. You'll never come up with one. Just go ahead and neglect her. You've never really cared about Satoko. You only think of her as someone you could play with. But I'm different. She's more than just a friend for me. She's like my family. I care about her more than you guys do. I'm going to kill him now. Goodbye. Wait a minute. What is it? Are you trying to stop me? Shion. You're not understanding even half of what Rena's trying to tell you. Oh, bedtime. Good night, Kimono. Thank you for dropping by. I appreciate it. Good night. What? I totally understand what she's saying. We could save her right away with just a little courage needed to murder him, but she's spouting hypocritical garbage to hide that fact. Shion. Do you think Satoko would appreciate it if you saved her by committing murder? I'm not trying to seek her appreciation. I don't care what happens to me. Her happiness is all that matters. That's not right. You're talking tough, but I know you're scared. In fact, you asked me on to help you hide the body. In other words, you want to live a normal life after killing her uncle. You want us all to be happy, just like a few days ago. You want us to be back to where we were. But if you murder him, we'll never be like that again. Do you think you could really commit a perfect crime? You'll be arrested for sure. I'm prepared to face that. If I could end Satoko's suffering by doing time behind bars, I'd gladly pay that price. No, that's absolutely not true. You would curse yourself, and I'd bet on that. You would curse yourself and regret it, wondering how you drew the short straw and became a murderer. And you'd finally realize what you really wanted. It wasn't killing her uncle. It was returning us all to our happy lives. Your wish will never come true if you commit murder. Satoko will also curse herself. She'll blame herself, thinking she's the reason Shion became a murderer. In fact, who's going to force Satoko to eat her squash if you get locked up? Who's going to talk about setting up mean traps with Satoko? You're supposed to do those things. Shion Sonosaki, you have to be by her side at all times. Don't kid yourself. What you're trying to do is not for Satoko. This is just a huge mistake. Hi, Gray. What is that, a cheese trap? How are you? If that's what you're saying, do you have any idea how to save her? You don't, do you? You're such a hypocrite. I said move! I'm killing him! I'm going to kill him now! Keiichi blocked her way by standing in front of the door. Shion gave him a hateful glare, but he just sent her back a confident smile. Cheese trap for Satoko. Psst, psst, psst. Come here, child. I can't let you go, Shion. The world we all long for doesn't exist without you. I'm not going to let you go. Is that so? That means you're siding with Teppei Hojo. You're just as guilty as he is. I'm going to bust your head open and kill you first. Oh my gosh. Hey, don't be stupid, Shion. Quit it already. Shion-san, what are you going to do with that chair? Stop it. Put that chair down. He doesn't understand that I'm serious. I have to show him how determined I am. You better get the hell out of my way now. I walked in like peak flood is crazy. Shion, I admit that right now, I have no better idea. But that's just for the moment. I'm sure that we'll come up with a better idea eventually. I guarantee it. I promise you that we're going to save Satoko. So please, okay? Trust your friends. If you're afraid of committing murder for Satoko's sake, you're not my friend anymore. I'm not going to tell you this again. Get the hell out of my way. Calm down and think about what you're saying. We will save Satoko somehow. Just trust us. Don't try and look for a shortcut. Trust your friends. Trust me. I, Keiichi Maebara, am going to save Satoko for sure. You could bet on it. Shut up. I can't trust you. What do you think you could do for her? Shion. Shion threw the chair at Keiichi. It hit him hard and the chair fell to the floor with a loud noise. But Keiichi was unfazed even after being struck. He just stood in front of the exit without even covering his face. Oh my gosh. He just took the chair. Wait, he wasn't unfazed. A trail of blood was pouring from his forehead where the corner of the chair had hurt him. That was nothing. You thought I would move out of the way? I'm not going to move from here, even if you kill me. If I let you go, we might never see you again. Satoko will think about you every day, and her heart will be filled with sadness. If that happens, there won't be anything we could do to make her happy. It's going to be a very sad life for her. I don't want Satoko to live in a sad world like that. The future that we want is a wild and riotous one, just like we had until a few days ago. Of course, I won't let Satoko's uncle threaten her any longer. I haven't decided how I'm going to do it yet, but I will know soon.
I promise. So please, just trust me. Shion wasn't yet convinced. But even so, she walked to the window and took her seat. Somebody rested a hand on Keiichi's shoulder. It was the principal. He'd been standing there and listening to him for a while.
Principal.
Well done. Chie-sensei, I've heard what's going on.
I'm sorry for being so powerless.
I know it's only been a day, but I think this is an emergency. We should report it to the proper authorities.
But sir, she has called the Child Consultation Center before.
They're not going to help her anyway.
It's just a waste of time.
Shion raised her voice. The principal looked at Shion and started talking. Shion Sonozaki-kun, there's one word that I really don't like. Do you know what that is? It's what you just said. The anyway that came out of your mouth. That is the cruelest word, which means admitting defeat before you even fight. By the time you've uttered that word, you've already lost your battle.
I agree with him. I think we should try various options. Calling the Child Consultation Center should be the first on that list. And if that doesn't work, we could try our second and third options. Don't give up before you try. That's just as bad as not helping her at all.
Get wrecked, Shion. She just wants murder. She's out for blood.
Principal, if you're reporting this, then you'll make sure to convince them that Satoko needs saving, right? Of course. Hojo-kun is my precious student. I'll do my best so that they'll save her.
They'll try to take action as quickly as possible, so if we call now, they should get to her house later tonight. I hope they'll help her. But what if they put her case on hold?
If that happens, we should come up with our next plan. As long as we don't give up, we could help her somehow.
Whatever you guys say. Satoko's getting hurt as we speak. Who's the one abandoning her here?
Shion, I just promised you.
We're going to save Satoko. Not by committing murder, but by saving her in a way that'll make her happy. You just watch us. I, Keiichi Maebara, am promising you this.
Shion stared out the window without looking at Keiichi's face.
I'll try and find out what the consultation center decides tonight. I'll call everyone when I do. I hope they'll take her into custody.
We can't be optimistic about this. I think there's a huge chance that they'll put her case on hold. What are we going to do if that happens?
If that happens, well, dang it.
Chie-sensei, let's go to the teacher's office. We need to make this call.
Yes, we need to make sure that they really understand. They left the classroom. Keiichi, Rena, and Mion got together and discussed their other options. Shion was looking down and crying. Rika was, just vaguely looking at them, as if staring at a boring TV drama. Nothing will change. The Child Consultation Center will put her case on hold. I've seen it so many times in previous lives. I almost hope that they'll take her into custody just this once. But I have no more coins left to gamble on a hope like that. In a previous life, Keiichi killed Satoko's uncle, but Shion was not there when it happened. When she is, I suppose she's the one who takes on that role. Their pathetic hopes will be crushed by tomorrow morning. The social worker will be at her house tonight, but Satoko will deny that she's being abused. Her uncle will assume that she was the one who called the service, and he'll abuse her even more. She'll come to school tomorrow because she doesn't want the Child Consultation Center to be suspicious of him. We'll feel more and more hopeless when we see the dead look in Satoko's eyes. I've been living for more than 100 years, but I've never defeated this fate. The fate of her uncle's return. I was blessed with so much luck, and I thought I could defeat it this time. But in the end, it all came down to the same thing. It was a waste of energy to put in any effort. It was worthless. All worthless.
Rip Satoko forever in our hearts. Facts. She's just always doomed, I guess.
The more I thought about this inescapable fate, the more I pitied these people for talking endlessly about how they were going to save Satoko.
Wet blanket. Okay.
Teppei returned to Hinamizawa to escape some trouble. He'd have to stay there for the rest of the summer, perhaps the whole year, and see what happened. For him, the house in Hinamizawa was a rather dull hiding place. His lover Rina had suddenly disappeared. Rumors told him that she was involved with some dangerous deal. Some source even told him that she'd already been caught and killed. Everyone he knew was aware that Rina was living with him. Everyone also assumed that he knew everything about what Rina did. They were convinced that he got money by tricking her into doing something, and as a result, some dangerous men came after him. That made it difficult for him to stay in Okinomiya. More than anything, it pissed him off to find out that Rina was cooking up something behind his back with some other guys. Hinamizawa was about the only place he could go. He couldn't go back to his house where he used to live with his wife, as it had been abandoned since he moved into Satoko's house. Besides, he didn't even have the key to his old place. But if he went to Satoko's house, she should still be there, and she could clean and cook for him too. Teppei didn't know how to cook or clean, and he certainly wasn't thinking of learning. Rina had often been rebellious towards Teppei. He had often said that he wanted to be with someone more loyal, like a pet. For Teppei, Satoko was exactly what he wanted. As Satoko is still a little kid, she can't satisfy him sexually, but he can at least make her wash his back in the bath. Satoko's dead mother used to be a pretty woman. Satoko might grow up to become a pretty lady herself in about 4 or 5 years. Teppei headed back to Hinamizawa with those indecent thoughts in his head. That is crazy! The house was locked, so he assumed that she was at the market for grocery shopping. He found her at the store and dragged her back home. However, the house was full of dust. She'd been living at her friend's house for the past year, and the house had been abandoned. Teppei exploded in anger. He told her that it was her responsibility to keep the house in order. He beat her and kicked her down to the floor. Eventually, Satoko's expression returned to what he remembered from 1982. Satoko started obeying him immediately and cleaned up the house. A new place to hide with a new girl. His new life was starting out pretty good. Teppei called his buddies to show off his new beginning and ended up playing mahjong with them. He bragged about his new pet and made her serve them food and drinks. He told her to walk on all fours like a real pet. She refused, but she obeyed immediately when he tried to hit her. Everyone was laughing and they were all jealous of him. Teppei felt really good about himself. However, someone arrived to interrupt this perfect life. I'm a teacher from the Hinamizawa branch school. My name is Chie. Is Satoko Hojo-san here? He thought someone was at his door to sell insurance or something, but it was a school teacher.
Ah? What the hell? What do you want with Satoko?
I came here because she didn't come to school today. I wasn't able to get a hold of her, so I'm wondering what happened.
Ah? School?
Yes. Is she home? I need to talk with her.
She's sick. That's right. She has a cold. Satoko's resting because she has a fever.
I need to give her some handouts. May I please see her?
You idiot! Weren't you listening to what I just said? Satoko is sick! She's sleeping right now. I can't let you see her.
This was going to cause him problems, Teppei realized. Satoko was just a pet for him, and he had no intention of sending her to school. But her teacher had shown up at his house just because she missed one day. This wasn't good. Teppei hates schools, and he really hates teachers. I see. Do you think she could come to school tomorrow?
Who knows? I won't know until tomorrow. You idiot!
I see. All right. Please tell her that I came by. Thank you. He was able to get rid of the teacher, but it would create more problems if he didn't send Satoko to school tomorrow. Teppei didn't need even more trouble on his plate. That meant he couldn't beat up Satoko like he wanted to. Violence was the only way he knew how to communicate. With that out of the picture, it was very difficult for him. He wanted to beat up Satoko, but that would leave evidence on her body. If that happened, he wouldn't be able to send her to school. And if she didn't go to school, that teacher would show up at his doorstep again. Crap. On top of all that, the Child Consultation Center paid a visit to his house that night. The teacher must have filed a report. That idiot, Teppei thought. Next time I'll beat her in the face so hard she'll need plastic surgery. Since Satoko was afraid of him, she pretended she really was sick when the social worker visited. It was so easy for Teppei to control her. He considered Satoko to be a convenient pet, but at the same time, he needed to be careful of the consultation center. Ah, freaking hell, this ain't gonna work at all! Oh my gosh. I fully expected that from him, but that is crazy. Well, we're gonna switch over to drawing now. Disgusting is right. That is nasty. My guy needs to be arrested. Is it too late to say I condone violence? I agree with Shion. Okay. Let me see. Turn on some music. What am I working on today? Well, I'm gonna do the thumbnail for this VOD first, and then probably work on the design commission from last time. I started lining it, but I haven't gotten all that far. Yeah. They gave me a CG to work with today, though, so. We get easy thumbnail day. I want the chair one. I want the chair. Chair, yes. This one. Okay. Where do I want to do this? Become Keiichi. Just right here. Oh. I don't have my keep aspect ratio on. Yes. Oi. Oh, hi, Avery. We just started. I forgot. Okay, listen. If you want to be here for the art stream, stay for Higurashi. That's right. But hello.
Just okay. Just there we go. Okay. Part 5. Yeah, what have you guys been up to? Anything fun? This is as far as I got. Rotting in bed, you know? That is not the worst place to be. I took a fat nap yesterday in bed too, so like I kind of feel it. The only reason why I don't stay in me and Avery's room while we're here is because the AC don't reach that far. Thought too hard about my senior thesis, got stressed and watched Disney's Robin Hood. The Fox one? The one where everyone is an animal? Yes, I love that movie. It's so good. The King's Laugh? Mm-hmm. I feel like the animating in it is just so satisfying. Like, it looks so nice. But you can see the pencil sketches of the cells. Yeah, it's so good. I would love to be able to animate like that myself, but that's funny. Animation and I are not friends? Me too. I really feel that. Never seriously tried, but I mean, like, I've tried. I don't know how serious I was about it because I usually do like 5 frames and then I'm like, I'm done, no more. And that's like before the colors even come in. Same reason I don't like comics I draw too slow and I'm bad at posing. Handshake. Oh my gosh. I also really hate paneling. Like, I don't understand how to make, like, a proper flow with the paneling. It just, ooh. Oog. After screaming over for 2 semesters of doing sequential art at school, I understand how they work. I just don't like doing it. That's fair. That is valid. Rip childhood dream of being a mangaka. I have laid that dream to rest a long time ago. I still think it would be cool to do, but I don't like any of my stories enough to be able to, like, draw it out like that. Writing is hard. You know, back when I was, like, serious about wanting to do manga and stuff, I bought manga manuscript paper and everything, like screen tones and stuff. And so they're just, like, in a drawer, and I don't know what to do with them anymore. Especially since I don't draw traditionally anymore. I would like to, but it's so hard, and I'm not willing to put in the effort. But maybe someday I will use them for illustrations or something. So glad my Wi-Fi lagged for 2 minutes. Oh no. Is it working now? Pain. I hope so. Big sad. I don't know how you're productive at 10 a.m. Probably because I spend the rest of the day doing absolutely nothing. I think I'm most productive when I can work on stream, because then I feel like the push to actually do something. Because I can't just sit and yap, unfortunately. That is not one of my powers. So I must be doing something. You are not a yapper. No. Well, okay. I can yap if I have a specific topic and someone that understands said topic, so that it's like a two-way yap. I find it hard to just kind of yap by myself. Like, I can yap with Avery about many things. Yeah, it's just, it depends. I'll actively narrate what I'm doing when I'm alone. Oh, really? I wish I could do that. Because a lot of times my drawing streams just end up me sitting in silence while I draw. It's like not even an I'm focusing thing, it's just I don't know what to say. Talking hard. Yeah, it happens. I say same, but I just feel the size of my constant brain chatter. I wish. My brain only chatter when I don't want it to. When I need something to say, it just goes absolutely silent. Head empty. Deep dive minion lore discussion. Bam, easy talk. Minion lore. I must admit, I am not a minion connoisseur. I do not know much about the minions. Like, I think I've watched every Despicable Me movie, and I know I've watched the Minions movie. Do I remember it, though? I don't know. They're all, like, jumbled up in my head. You like the lore that I retain is like what lore do I even know? I know OnStar's 1 lore, not 2 though. Think I've been dubbed the minion kid at my school because my phone case is just a decoupage of 100 minion stickers. That's cute! Iconic, iconic. My American phone is boring and just a black case, but my Korean phone, because I had to get 2 separate ones, that one has a sticker of no face on it. It's a very cute no face sticker. OnStar's lore is impressive, never cared to get into it. Honestly, I would... Maybe I'm biased, but ES2 lore is not worth it. ES1 was where it's at. Because it... And... Like, ES1 lore was funny and still vaguely made sense. I don't know what they were cooking with ES2, but I didn't like it. But I feel like that's kind of the extent of the lore that I know, because that's what I was hyperfixated on for who knows how long. From the bits I know, I agree, yes. Thank you for the validation. Yeah, it's like weird. The only way I can really describe it, it's really weird. I know bits and pieces of Genshin lore. Never really paid attention though. And I know almost nothing about Star Rail lore. What other things do I play? OnStars is a dark time in my life. It's not, but also OnStars fandom scares me now that I'm out of it. Facts! They're very scary. It was like a good run while it lasted for me, but I'm glad I'm not stuck in there anymore. I'm done. Oh, I know some hip mic lore, I guess. Hypnosis mic. I vaguely familiar with it. That one's also weird though. Me using it as an excuse to talk with you again, but then it consumed me. It kind of has that effect. Oddly, like, addictive? Is that the right word? I don't know. Words are hard, but it is definitely... It was something. I forgot the color in the... Okay. Good job, me. Music sucked the soul out of me, but the best rhythm game you've ever played. Yeah. I feel like the music for me, it's super hit or miss. Some of them I love, some of them I hate. But yeah, rhythm game wise, I am incredibly biased towards other ones. So, but that's like a me thing. It's definitely different. The special stages, I have seen people try to play them, and I'm glad I'm not there. My favorite rhythm game will probably always be Band Yarose, because... Was that my first one? I don't know if it was my first one, but it's the one I remember enjoying the most. And I'm very upset that it shut down. To this day. But OnStar's music, definitely. There are a lot of hits. Now the only rhythm game I play is Fortnite Festival. That sounds amazing. I only play Hit Mic actively now. Occasionally I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll play a song or two from Bandori, but that's it. Too many rhythm games to keep track of. Not good for my soul. Or rather, gacha games, honestly. Not good for my soul or my wallet. Okay. Try very hard not to put money into gacha games. I respect it. I should have tried harder, but it's too late now. No regrets, but like, you know. Okay, I have some time, since I need to wait for approval for that. So, what can I work on? Can doodle something really quick. Wait, I have this really weird pencil I can show you guys that I downloaded. It's called Water Pencil. Look at this. Isn't that weird? There's like 3 of them. And they've got really funky like watercolor effects, but then they don't like blend. Yeah. Really weird. I crave texture so bad in my art and nothing works how I want it to. Pain. Texture is hard. Like, really hard. I need to like brainstorm my other outfit, but I'm so I don't know what I want. Feel that I'm thinking of doing minor redesigns to Polyam before I commit a whole year to drawing exclusively for my thesis. That's so fair. What were you thinking of changing? Like clothing or actual like the character? Horn shape. I see. Do I look possessed? What? This pen feels like my vision is blurring. Ooh, that's weird. Make him feel more purposeful to lore. Oh, interesting. So does that mean you're leaning more into like the bugs vibe, or are you changing it? First need to make a solid turn around his jacket. Because you're gonna physically make it. Ooh. That sounds so cool. When you say make it, do you mean like you're gonna like sew it from scratch, or possibly because he's a weird incubus oni gargoyle thing, so to figure out that's fair that yeah. Sewing from scratch so I can cosplay him? Yeah. Do show pictures, please. I feel like I want to change Grim front hair, but I might just make that like an alternate hairstyle. I don't know. We'll see. Why are all my sketches bad today? Ah! Hair is hard. Facts. It's gotta lean into the bald, I suppose. Real, yeah. Someday you guys will get your bald toggle that you've been asking for. It's also hard making a persona feel relatable to the person, but not so close. It's like, yeah, that's just me. Yeah, that's fair. Poyan was at one point relatively similar to me hair-wise, and nope, because I always change it. I mean, that's the fun with hair, right? That you can change it. Not that I've changed mine in a while, but it's fine. Drawn with my hair now. Yeah, do it! Because I based Grimm's design on my hair, which is how I always wear it. But it's like kind of different. So I've got like a wolf cut, and I have no bangs, so it's just like, yeah. And usually it just kind of sticks out like this, but in like layers. Kind of like that. Vaguely. Maybe. I don't know how to draw hair. The sleigh? Thank you. I feel like that's basically what Grem's hair would look like if I just, you know, drew it down. It's like a mix of 3 different haircuts. Fair enough. Fair enough. Why decide on one when you could do more? Anime Grem TM, yes. Cat. Well, yes, I have successfully killed time with doodling, and it's about 11, which means I should be signing off soon. We're going to Cat Cafe, so my dad is coming home early from work, because he can do that, apparently. But yeah. Yeah, I'll send pictures in the chat if I take more. Yes, kitty pics. I will be sure to send them. Thank you guys so much for coming. Hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!